It is day 37 of the government shutdown. Bipartisan talks continue on Capitol Hill. Join us now, Republican Senator Katie Britt. She's been playing a key role in discussions. I don't know how much you can tell us, Senator. Who is Senator Collins involved? Who's involved on the other side of the aisle? Everyone?
Yeah. Senator Collins obviously is taking a lead with her role as chair of appropriations. We are working with other members, obviously, both within our party and across the aisle. Look, this started last week because I realized you can't break a log jam without having conversation. And so sitting down with Senator Schumer and talking about that we really need to get back to doing the work of the American people, and that means passing appropriations bills. Under Senator Collins' leadership there in appropriations, we've actually marked up 8 bills, and 3 of them have passed the Senate floor. Utilizing those 3 bills and thinking, how can we show the American people we're working and break this log jam, making sure that we get the government back open, was a key priority for me. These 3 bills, Joe, are essential. They are SNAP benefits, they are WIC benefits, they are military, VA, the Veterans Affairs. You've also got Capitol Police and others that would be in this package. If we're able to pass these bills, it takes those things off the table for the remainder of the fiscal year, actually funding them and doing the job that the people sent us here to do. So all of that starts with conversation. Have been really pleased to be able to work with people on the other side of the aisle that want to see a pathway forward. Have been in talks with the White House and leadership and working in between those to try to actually open this up for the American people and get back to doing our job.
Been a long time since I saw how a bill is made. So work with me on this. Could you attach these appropriations just to, it would be not quite as clean of a CR, but could you just attach it to a CR that extends the November 21st date? And would Democrats want a 1-year, would they accept a 1-year extension of the, the Obamacare subsidies from the pandemic? Would that be a 4th thing that's put in there? Is there discussion of that? And A, would Democrats accept that? And B, would Republicans give them that? That's the bone they've been asking for.
Yeah, so obviously you have a couple of different things working here. So this 3-bill package has passed the Senate. It passed at the end of July. That was actually the first time we passed these types of appropriations bills, and since about 2018 on the Senate floor. So really showing that we meant business and wanted to get things done. These bills have been conferenced with the House in an informal way, trying to make sure that we're all on the same page. Putting that bill on the floor, a vehicle could ride with that, a CR, extending the date to another date, because as we know, obviously November 21st is right around the corner, and so giving us time to do more work, giving us time to pass more appropriations bills is the goal. Look, obviously there has been talk, and Leader Thune has said both publicly and to members of the Democratic Party that he will absolutely give them a vote on ACA. That's nothing new, and so figuring out a pathway forward on that. We also have the NDAA that we'll have to kind of come back to by the end of the year, so we've got a lot of work ahead of us. But this would give us a vehicle to be able to move that and to be able to extend that CR date. And look, Joe, it's important that our Democratic colleagues come to the table. I have heard a lot of stuff in the last 24 hours about, well, maybe they'll wait another week because they won in the election. Joe, I think that is completely selfish and short-sighted. I think winning blue seats in blue states is nothing remarkable. But what is remarkable is the impact that this is having on average Americans, normal people, people who are having to go to food banks, Joe, people who are not getting paychecks. I can't imagine the arrogance that it would take to walk past Capitol policemen that aren't getting those paychecks and then not wanting to find a pathway forward.
Short-sighted and selfish hasn't stopped anyone yet, so I don't know if that's going to do it. Do you really think that Democrats would go for just those 3 and not? They are not going to accept anything about a promise for negotiating the subsidies. That's what's been the holdup all along, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, Joe, there are other things that are involved in this that I am not at liberty to kind of put out in front right now. But I think that there are things that are kind of building this up in a way that will allow this to move forward. And I am hopeful that the Democratic colleagues come to the table. Now's the time to actually get to work. That's what the American people sent us here to do.
I wish we had time to talk about the filibuster and we were talking about that off camera. It's been since 1917, and I was pushing back on President Trump, saying to get rid of it, but the next time the Democrats are in charge, they're going to get rid of it. I'm almost unless there's like a mansion or a cinema around, and his viewpoint is, why not do it now? They're going to do it anyway, and do everything you want for the next year before the next election. I don't know. Do you think that it'll be gone? That the Supreme Court will be packed? There'll be all kinds of things that happen. The Democrats do have a majority in the Senate.
Yeah, look, President Trump made a very compelling case yesterday. He talked about what is in front of us and what we need to do for the American people. Obviously, he has a robust agenda, and it is on us to work to get that through, and we are absolutely committed to doing that. Leader Thune has said that the votes are not there for moving that, but we do have pathways that we can pursue that ultimately help us achieve his goal. But I think everyone is in conversation, because what we're seeing is unprecedented obstruction by Democrats. We saw that on the nomination process, Joe. I mean, I did the research and kind of put it in front of the conference in order for us to change the rules in that setting. You saw them let no nominees go through this Congress by voice voter unanimous consent for President Trump. And at the very same time, in the calendar year for Obama, in his first year, he had 292 that went through. So we're seeing this unprecedented level of obstruction. And unfortunately, the Democrats, that causes this institution to break. So all things are on the table, and we're trying to find a pathway forward.